In times when you're uncertain what to do, there's no need to figure things out alone. Whether you're looking to expand your skills, better yourself, move beyond the challenging time, or find someone to listen and empathize with where you're coming from, or find a safe space to discover who you truly are and how you can do more for yourself and others. In Touch is here to help. For over 40 years, In Touch has been at the forefront in providing services for mental health and emotional well-being. In Touch aims to raise awareness, educate the public, and advocate for mental health. Enable individuals to have healthy coping methods and realize their potential. Provide direct care to those in need of mental and emotional support. And build the capacity of those in roles caring for the mental health of others. All this contributes to the vision all people will value mental health and well-being, and have access to high-quality mental health services. Here at In Touch, your well-being matters.
Good morning and welcome to everyone who is present in today's webinar. Thank you for making the time out of your busy schedules to witness today's event. My name is Andy and I am one of the hosts for today.
And my name is Juvie. I am also one of the hosts for today's event. We have a lot in store for you today, so stay tuned, grab some snacks, and relax as we go through this program together. So Andy, ano bang meron sa webinar natin today?
Well, Julie, our webinar today is called Step Back to Advance. Don't Give Burnout a Chance.
Magandang topic nga yan.
Indeed, it's such a fitting topic for this April Stress Awareness Month. Our guest speaker will be discussing all about the struggles of burnout and how to combat it. I'm sure that all of us are quite familiar with this, as most of us have experienced it at one point or another.
Yes, the topic is indeed relatable. So burnout is a struggle and a pain to deal with talaga, especially we have duties and responsibilities to attend to. And I am very excited about the topic natin today, and I hope our audiences are interested too.
That's right. And before we go to our speaker, let's not forget to introduce the platform that made this webinar possible. Of course, I am talking about In Touch Community Services. So maybe you guys at the audience are wondering, what exactly does In Touch Community Services do? Well, Juby's here to give some light to what the organization does.
Okay, so In Touch Community Services is a leading provider of mental health services in the Philippines. Established in 1980, it is a volunteer-driven organization dedicated to promoting mental health and offering care and treatment to persons suffering from mental health and emotional distress. So, serving for over 40 years, In Touch was established with a mission to provide quality mental health care and a vision to expand its accessibility to the Philippine community.
Yes, and In Touch provides quality care, like you said, and services such as crisis line training, counseling services, trainings and workshops, amongst other things. For more details, you can visit intouch.org.
Now that everyone knows what In Touch Community Services is and what it is all about, maybe we can now proceed to the main event of today's webinar.
Allow us to introduce our guest speaker. He is pursuing his master's degree in clinical psychology at De La Salle University, Manila, currently taking his internship at InTouch Community Services, acting as a crisis line responder and participating in youth advocacy programs.
He is also the training officer of Inquirer Academy, the training leg of Inquirer Group. He has been serving in the industry for 6 years, moderating seminars and workshops to various industries. In his free time, he enjoys playing and creating music to de-stress and relax his body, mind, and spirit. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our guest speaker, Mr. Arvin Maghirang.
Right. Thank you, Andy, and thank you, Juvie. Good morning. Good morning to everyone. Yan, even in our Facebook Live, yan, our participants, our audience will be in Facebook Live. May nagpapa-shout out, Vishy. Yan, thank you so much and welcome to the Step Back to Advance webinar. And thank you, everyone, for taking your time out to be here with us. It is a Friday, so happy weekend po sa lahat. And it is also the weekend before the Holy Week. So this is actually a good timing for this webinar, for all of us to be able to reflect where we are right now and rest also if we do ever feel overwhelming stress or feeling burned out. So my name is Arvin and I am here to talk about burnout. I will be talking about it for a good 1 hour. So before we start, if it's okay, kayo muna magsalita. No, we want to get to know you a bit. Here in our comment section, I know we can't hear you, but we can see you here in the comments. Okay, so may I ask you, what for you is burnout? Ano para sa'yo ang burnout? And don't worry, wala po itong grade. Hindi tayo naghahanap ng one definite answer. It doesn't have to be an objective definition. Okay lang, wag nyo na i-google. Pero yung personal experience with burnout, siguro a word or a phrase that talks about burnout. What for you is burnout? In our comment section, ayan, maybe we have been feeling this kind of stress, no? Even kahit hindi natin sure if burnout ba to o hindi, pero feel natin medyo malapit na siya. Ano yung word na yun? Ayan. I know that there is a bit of a delay between Facebook and Zoom, but don't worry, hindi po yan dapat ika-stress. I would like to assure you that I can see your comments. Ayan, I can see your comments. Stress to the max. Parang kahit grind ka ng grind, wala nang happiness. Oh, yes. Ayan. Diba? When you have exhausted all effort and still haven't accomplished anything. Wow. Thank you, no? Parang from your comments, there's a lot more. From your comments, nakikita ko na in a way, meron na kayong glimpse of what burnout is. So, thank you everyone for opening up and thank you for having the courage to share some of your personal experience with me and to others as well in the comment section. So, I want to start with assuring you that this is a safe space. So, I hope that you engage with me in the comment section. I can actually see your comments and I know there is a bit of a delay, but this is something that is not to be stressed about, not worth burning out. Okay, so somehow we have heard the concept of burnout and somehow we have a glimpse of burnout. No? Pero ano nga ba ang burnout? Ano yung nagkakos nito and ano yung sources? So we are here to answer that question. And to formalize the definition of burnout, let us use this definition. There. To formalize our definition of burnout, it is our state of physical, emotional, and mental exhaustion caused by excessive and prolonged stress. Ito yung nararamdaman natin kapag, tama kayo, kapag sobrang pagod na yung katawan natin, yung pag-iisip, and pakiramdam. Dahil sa grabe at mahaba at kumpul-kumpul na stress. Naramdaman nyo na ba yun? Yung matagal na kayong nagdaramdam? For example, here sa Facebook and social media, mainit na topic ang politics. and everyday merong nagtitrigger sa emotions natin. Yung parang everyday na tayo nagagalit sa mundo to the point na nakakapagod na and ayaw mo na ulit magbukas ng Facebook. Yan. That is a state of burnout in social media. Or sa work or school works. Minsan ba nafe-feel nyo yung sobrang stress kayo sa isang event tapos wala pang pahinga, may susunod na stress na agad? For fellow HR here, no, every November may Halloween party. No, Halloween party ng Friday night, tapos Monday morning, meeting agad for the Christmas party. So imagine, kapag paulit-ulit na yung stress, no, walang pahinga, and nakakapagod yung work to the point na nawawalan na tayo ng gana. Yun, yung walang gana na yun, that is a sign of burnout in the workplace. So, speaking of workplaces, we do originally associate burnout at work, correct? Meaning may tendency na iniisip natin na mababurnout lang tayo kapag nasa office or kapag dumadami na yung work. But we have to understand that burnout is actually a product of everything that is going on in your life. For instance, your commitments, relationship man or professional commitments. You have technology exposure as well. Kanina, we talked about social media, but technology is, internet connection is also technology. We have been doing online meetings and webinars and even Facebook Lives for the past 2 years. So all of us are familiar sa stress na dulot na mawalan ng internet connection, hindi ma-connect yung Facebook Live. Ayan, these kinds of stress are actually nakaka-affect din sa atin, not just at work. And isa din na nararanasan natin, this new normal, diba, would be a boss, a client, or maybe a group mate in school calling you to talk about work or assignment bago ka matulog. Diba? Mga 8 p.m. onwards. So, even our personal boundaries, nabawasan din this pandemic because of technology, because of exposure. We have been more exposed to society, hence making us more exposed to chronic stress, causing us to feel tired or fatigue. So, fatigue and exhaustion plus no clear end goal or end point because of the stressors are ongoing. This is the more complex definition of burnout. Yan. So, pinag-uusapan pa lang natin, medyo nakaka-stress na yon. But, speaking of stress, okay, we want to know the difference between stress and burnout as well because we want to identify our limit. Yung nararamdaman natin, ano ba to? Stress lang ba to from a challenge na kaya pa i-manage? Or is it burnout already that we need to take care of ourselves more seriously? We look now on our screens and you can see the differences between stress and burnout. Stress is over-engagement or what we say in Filipino is aligaga. Yung, kumbaga, ano na gagawin ko? Or tapos na ba? Or may kailangan pa ba ako gawin? Ano na yung next na kailangan kong gawin? Etc. etc. Yan. Burnout, on the other hand, is disengagement or nawawala, natutulala, and hindi na iniintindi yung mga tasks or works for the day or for the week. Similarly, the emotions in stress are overactive. Since aligaga tayo, onting pitik lang, we get irritated easily. Narinig nyo na ba yung ang dami ko nang iniisip, dadagdag ka pa? Ayan, that is stress. Wherein, in burnout, our emotions are more blunted. Or if you have heard the phrase, languishing. Yun, hindi ka malungkot, pero hindi ka masaya at the same time. Blank lang. So that would be more on the burnout phase. And again, stress is aligaga, urgent lahat, but in burnout, kaya tayo natutulala is because we feel hopeless. Hopeless na or wala na tayong magagawa dahil sa pagod. You also see here that stress is more likely to lead to anxiety. Kasi andun yung kabay. Tulad na sabi kanina, di ba? Aabot ba ako sa deadline? Papagalitan ba ako ni boss? Or, nako, hindi ako umabot sa quota. Ano papakain ko sa family ko? Those kinds of stresses. But in burnout, we feel like talo na tayo, which more likely leads to depression or kalungkutan. And dito yung statements natin na I am a failure, I did my best, but I guess my best wasn't good enough. Yan. Titos and titas can relate. Yan. And I hope that you can also allow me to lighten the mood every now and then kasi we are talking about burnout. So medyo heavy topic, but we are here to talk about it, trying to light it up. Okay? So all in all, we have to understand that burnout, although related to stress, they are two different things. And we have to be careful since burnout decreases our ability to manage our tasks. Yan. So, before going to the next slide, let's take a pause. Yan. Hinga muna tayo. Inhale. And exhale. And let us affirm each other ng pakisabi sa comment section. Kapit ka lang, kakayanin natin to. Yan. Kapit ka lang, kakayanin natin to. Again, I can see, thank you so much for the comments here in our section. There's a bit of a delay. I will move on, but rest assured, I'm seeing your comments. Okay, so this is stress and burnout for you. Now, we go to the signs and symptoms because we want to help you with identifying kung saan nanggagaling and ano yung mga things that we should watch out for para masabi natin sa sarili nating, ops, hinga muna, burnout na yan self. Pahinga muna tayo. Okay? So we start with the physical symptoms. We have touched on this earlier a bit. But to emphasize, burnout is real. Yan. Hindi siya gawa-gawa or pag-iinarte mo lang. You have to acknowledge it, especially when you feel tired and drained. Naranasan nyo na ba yun? Ako, I have once. Yung sobrang daming ginagawa sa work, maaga naman ako natulog, pero pagising ko, pagod pa din. Yan. Our immune system also gets down, which leads to frequent illnesses such as headaches or muscle pains. Shout out to the Allergic Rhinitis Club. Madaling sipunin or lagnatin. Ayan. There are many ways that we can explain this, but practical example will be minsan parati tayong stress, lahat parating urgent, nalilimutan natin kumain ng maayos, or even uminom ng tubig. Kasabay nito will be pagod pa tayo. So there, from that explanation, we can see now we can really be affected by physical signs and symptoms of stress that cause us to burn out. Another frequent complaint is yung change in appetite and sleep pattern. Naririnig natin yung stress eating. Everyday tayong stress. So paano yan? No? Pagdating ng burnout, it's either naging lifestyle na natin kumain ng madami or parati naman tayo walang ganang kumain, which again, hindi maganda sa katawan. It also affects our sleeping patterns. Either hindi tayo makatulog, maybe sa dami ng iniisip, or parati tayong tulog as a way of coping. So in these cases, we have to listen to our body, acknowledge ano yung masakit, and from there, take action. If wala nang gana kumain, kain kahit onti lang. No? If palaging tulog, maybe we can try to take a walk kahit around the house lang, just for us to take care of our physical health. And later on, we'll also give you a more explanation for taking care of your health to prevent burnout. But for now, we go to the signs and symptoms, which is another sign will be our emotional health. Kung paano ka mag-isip and paano mo tinitake ang mga bagay. Nafi-feel natin siya when we think or feel that we are a failure. Feel din natin na we are trapped and defeated. And minsan, kahit yung support group natin nandyan, we still feel alone. Merong self-doubt when we ask ourselves, no, kaya ko pa kaya to? And then, because of that, it also affects our motivation. Kaya ko kaya to? Nag-fail na ako before eh. May project na bagong parating, parang ayoko na kunin kasi feel ko hindi ko kaya yan. Those kinds of thinking. Minsan, sadly, this happens when we achieve something great, when we accomplish a task, kahit pagano kagaling ginawa natin, hindi na tayo masaya. Yan, that might be burnout. So, same with the physical, acknowledge, try to think of yourself, try to see yourself, and then stick with the facts, maybe what went well, what needs to improve, and there. So finally, our emotions are connected to our behaviors as well. If we think negatively or we feel hopeless, tulad nung kaninang binanggit natin, it does affect our work and behavior. Even if the good employees, maganda yung record nila, pero they feel burned out. They might not step up or withdraw from responsibilities, or unfortunately, minsan they will procrastinate. Sinesend na lang yung mga deadlines para lang may masend. Those kinds of behaviors are might be a sign of burnout. Also, taking your frustrations on others. Absenteeism or yung parating late and absent, it might be a cause of burnout. Sadly, we also turn to drugs or alcohol to cope. Diba? Ang most popular drug will be caffeine. And where you can find in coffee and sodas. If 1 or 2 cups a day, okay lang. But if more than our usual intake, then it might be burnout. Same with alcohol. Maybe a bottle or 2 after a long working day is fine. But when we do it every day, or maybe yung 2 bottles natin nagiging 2 cases, or sana wag naman yung 2 bottles during working hours siya iniinom. No? If that's the case, then it might be the time to reflect. So this might not be you, but maybe you can also reflect on your team or staff or bosses or loved ones na baka sila na to. Not to degrade them or judge them, pero they might need your help or they might need help. Or maybe if it's you, you might need help. It might be burnout. So let us be aware of our physical, emotional, and behavioral signs and symptoms of burnout. So before we proceed, can we ask in the comment section, type in our comment section, hinay lang sa kape. Ayan. 1 or 2 cups lang of coffee. Or maybe instead of beer, beer raw ka na lang. Mas kailangan natin ng vitamins and healthy diet. Thank you so much sa mga nagko-comment. Thank you so much. Ayan. So moving on, okay, we are now aware of ourselves na pag nararamdaman natin na baka burnout na to. Pag ganito na ako mag-behave, baka burnout na to. So now we move on with ano yung pinanggagalingan ng signs and symptoms na yon. What are the causes of burnout? So isa-isahin natin. Number 1, the one that we are most familiar with, the work-related causes. Babalik tayo with everything is urgent. Hindi na natin nakokontrol yung work natin kasi ang laki na ng demands ng company or ng boss natin. And din na nga, ang daming work, somehow we get to manage all of these naman, pero at the end of the day, wala tayong rewards. Or kahit good job man lang kay boss, wala. Or maybe, for example, you applied for an accounting position, pero somehow ikaw yung pinagbebenta ng product or services. Not that one job is better than the other, but we might feel constant stress when our job is unclear and overly demanding. Imagine you are being evaluated for checking accounts and balances, pero iba yung binibigay sa yung work. Minsan nakakalito, right? And then the last 2, it's either your work is not that challenging or kabaliktaran naman, mataas ang pressure or mataas ang stakes, higher than you can handle as of the moment. Exaggerated example would be, for example, you are a fresh graduate and then you've been asked by the company to decide whether you'll take a large investment or not. So sa'yo nakasalalay ang buong company kahit fresh graduate ka. That might be cause of stress and burnout. So for everyone here, these are something to think about in our workplace. Ginagawa ko ba yung dapat kong gawin sa work based on my job description and how I am evaluated as an employee? This is also a message to our HR departments and team leads. No, napapagawa ba natin yung job based on why we hired them? Because if there is a misalignment, then it might be a source of stress to the employees. Hence, the vulnerability of feeling burned out. Yan. And then, we mentioned earlier that hindi lang siya work-related, yung burnout. Our lifestyle can also be a source of stress and burnout. Let's say, aligned naman yung work, responsibilities, but yet because we are quote-unquote workaholics, mas pinipili na natin yung work kaysa sa sariling buhay natin. Minsan, dahil babad tayo sa work, hindi na tayo nakikipagkamustahan with our friends. I've heard stories this pandemic. Work na lang siya ng work, di na niya nakakamusta yung boss and office mates niya kasi working from home. So imagine that. Later on, we'll talk about personality. Pero baka may kilala din kayong ganito sa office. Yung mga hindi makahindi. Yan. Basta may bagong task, kukunin niya yan. And even when you offer help, sasabihin niya, hindi, kaya ko na to, ako na. Yun, those kinds of persons, those kinds of lifestyle can be a cause of burnout. So if you are that person or you know someone who is, check on yourself and check on them and always offer help. Then obviously not getting enough sleep as well, either because of work or nasobrahan sa Netflix or nabanggit natin kanina because of drugs or alcohol. As we see, these kinds of unhealthy lifestyle can lead to stress and burnout. And as mentioned, our personality may also play a role in feeling stressed and burned out. You can see in your screens the list of personality types that you might be familiar with. Some by looking at it pa lang. But let us look at it one by one. Okay, so these are some traits and attitudes that can also increase burnout risk. Okay, so number one is perfectionism. Yeah, I have heard in one of the workload management workshops I've attended before that perfectionism is a myth. Kasi minsan hindi na-align yung work na binibigay natin sa expectations ng boss or superiors natin. For example, your boss asked you to list down the following attendees of this webinar. So you did. Nilagay mo siya sa Excel in alphabetical order, color-coded based on the type of company. So yes, nag-research ka na, di ba? Itong mga nagko-comments, ni-research mo na yung companies nila. And then, dun sa Excel file, kapag kinlik mo yung name, malilink siya sa PowerPoint na nandun na yung profile ng attendee. Ang galing, di ba? But, nung sinend mo na sa boss mo, ang kailangan niya lang pala is yung number. So, makikita natin, okay, 109 or 110 pala yung participants na dumating. Okay, thank you. So, hindi nag-align. We did it perfect, yes, but it cost you a lot of time to do it. Na nagpatong-patong na yung work that is much more important than the attendance sheet. So we have to be mindful of the expectations of your superior or your supervisor or the company on what you need to accomplish. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying na wag na tayong mag-extra effort when we are asked to do something. We do appreciate the effort that you put in your work. But perfectionism is different from working hard, or actually we say this as working smart. In working hard or working smart, you accomplish the task. There might be mistakes along the way, but you take it as lessons. Perfectionism, on the other hand, is somewhat obsessing about the task to the point that it causes you stress while doing the work. So that is working hard and being a perfectionist for you. So let us work hard, but not much on perfectionism, right? Next personality, pessimistic personality can also be a cause of burnout. To those who are not familiar, pessimism or the glass half empty kind of persons, or yung nega or negastar or negatron in our popular term. So just imagine 5 minutes before your meeting with your client, naputulan yung office nyo ng internet. There's stress in it. Tapos sabi pa ng workmate mo sa'yo, ay, wala na to. Hindi na tayo kukunin ng investor. Malilate na tayo eh. That kind of person. And then, even when you say, hindi, meron akong backup data. Naka-postpaid ako. Ayan. We can use the backup data. So, pwede naman. And then, magre-reply siya na, hindi, kahit pag backup data, mabagal kasi. Wag na lang. Mapapahiya lang tayo. Ayan. So, these kinds of person. And personality. And these kind of personality, pwede din siyang madala sa sarili natin. So imagine that office mate na sa personal niya, sabi niya, hindi na lang ako sasama sa meeting kasi hindi naman ako magaling eh. Hindi ako kasing galing ni ganito. That kind of thinking or that kind of mentality. Di na ako magsasubmit on time kasi hindi na talaga ako magbabago. Ganito na ako eh. Ganito talaga ako. Yan. Those are kind of negative pakinggan. Just hearing from it, naririnig natin na pwede talaga siya mag-cause ng stress and burnout. And then next, we also have excitability. From the word itself, some people get to be excited to take responsibilities. But with it are the negative kind of excitement as well, which is, for example, panic attacks before presentations, or having a hard time managing their emotions when a stressor occurs. This excitability comes from our body's chemistry. So there's not really much we can do about it. Yan. However, we can practice strategies that can help us manage our emotions, such as positive self-talk or breathing exercises. Hindi man mawala yung feeling of excitability, pero nako-control and namamanage natin siya. Yan. And then next, lahat ng type A personality, taas ang kamay. If you are familiar with this, type A personalities are the lions or the leaders. Type A's actually have good qualities in them, especially with leading a team. Right? Pag type A personality si boss, andyan yung results. But comes with it are also tendencies to feel stressed, even from minor mistakes. So, fun fact, do you know that people with the personality type are more at risk for cardiac diseases and other health issues? Kasi imagine they tend to lash out to other people and that kind of stress. And again, like the excitability, we can embrace the positive side of our type A personalities. Again, it actually has good personalities, but it is also important to manage our emotions and the way we deal with other people. And then next, we have touched on this earlier. Say for example that you are a detail-oriented person, but you have been assigned in a different department. A department that works better with going with the flow, for example. A team or group who works better at procrastinating. Or for example, you are an introvert, pero your work requires you to host webinars or engage with people every day. So, not saying that you're not doing good, or I'm not saying that one job is better than the other, or a personality is better than the other, but remember that we will work better if our work requires skills that fit your strengths. and you are more likely to feel happy with what you do. However, if there is a mismatch between your style and your job description, then more likely you will be stressed much of the time, hence more likely to feel burned out. And then related to poor fit of job description will be the lack of belief in what you do. Sometimes, we take jobs kasi we see na malaki yung starting salary, kahit hindi angkop sa atin yung job. This is why it is important to know who we are first and angkop sa atin yung job. No? And what we do, it is important to know who we are first and what do we believe in. Saan ba tayo nag-e-enjoy? That's the first question. And then disclaimer, I'm not saying that salaries are not important. It is. It comes with knowing your worth. But I ask you, how would you know your worth? How would you know your salary if you don't believe in yourself or you don't believe in what you do? So, believe in yourself, believe in what you do. Yan. And then, pahabol na lang some additional traits. These are actually connected to previous personalities like perfectionism, for example. Ayan, may nagko-comment na. These are actually connected to previous personalities, but also be mindful of being workaholics or somewhat addicted to work, na mas madami ka ng time sa office kaysa sa bahay. And people pleasers as well. Diba? So again, in being a workaholic, always remember the difference of working hard and working smart. And for people pleasers, believe in yourself and your work and not primarily on other people. Of course, I'm not saying to not listen to other people, but always believe in yourself first. Okay, so before we proceed, try natin to fill in the blanks in our comment section. Sa lahat ng sources and causes of burnout, kailangan natin maging aware. So kailangan natin maging mapanuri, mapagbatsyag, mapangahas. Kung hindi nyo mag-gets, okay lang. Or kung hindi nyo i-comment dahil sa kahihiyan, okay lang. No, tayo-tayo na lang yun. I heard we have majority of our participants are undergraduate students, so baka hindi pa nila alam yun. Pero if naiyak isulat, okay lang yan. I feel you. Wag na natin ika-stress ang ating age. But I hope so far, everything's clear and everything is helpful for you. And thank you so much for the validation in our comment section. Again, I can see you. There's just a bit of a delay, but I can see all your hearts, your reactions, and your comments. So thank you, thank you, thank you so much. All right. So, may nakakuha ng mapangas o pagmatchat. So far we have talked about the signs and symptoms and also the causes and sources of burnout. And for our next topic, we would like to introduce to you its phases. So we want you to know that burnout is not an off and on switch. Now once we feel it, burnout agad. This is somewhat giving you hope na you can catch yourself if you're manifesting the signs and symptoms even at the early phase pa lang. So, we now go to the first phase or the honeymoon phase. Yan. We accept a new project or responsibility in our work. Of course, mafe-feel natin yung enthusiasm. It gives us the sense of trust ng company sa kakayahan natin, wherein we can explore our artistic side. And then, suddenly, may onting mistakes here and there na nag-uumpisa nang dumating yung complaints ni boss or ng teammates natin, yung unti-unti na rin dumadagdag yung responsibilities, okay pa naman, pero medyo nawawala na tayo sa focus or nababawasan na yung sleep natin, either sa dami ng work or dami ng iniisip. So that will be the onset of stress phase naman. And then suddenly, tulad ng sabi natin kanina, nung mga una okay pa kaya pang tanggapin. Pero nafe-feel natin, parang araw-araw ng complaint ni boss. Parang 6 months na yung project. 6 months na ako nandito, pero puro complaint at bagong work yung dumadating sa akin sa umaga. When stress becomes more persistent, you are now in the chronic stress phase. And then, of course, burnout is kapag napuno ka na. Naalala natin kanina, kapag burnout, we lose the sense of achievement. Diba? Sabihin natin, kanina for example, you are under probation. And then, dumating na yung 6 months. And finally, today, irregular ka na. And then yung company, kinongrats ka, you are now a regular worker, congrats. Pero dahil sa everyday complaints, additional responsibilities, feel nyo ba masaya yung employee? I don't think so. So that is the feeling of burnout minsan. Tama, nakita ko din sa comment section kanina na you've exerted all effort pero wala nang enthusiasm. Yan, it might be burnout. And this is the one that we do not want to feel when the burnout phase was left untreated. Going back sa example, puro complaints and kulang tayo sa recognition and validation of what we do. Na-affect na tayo. And then, syempre, ayaw na natin sa company na yun, hindi na tayo masaya eh. Pero umalis na tayo to another company, we didn't do anything about it. Paglipat natin, wala ulit recognition. Wala ulit good job kay boss. Puro complaints ulit. So, our motivation in life decreases, hence eventually leading to anxiety and depression. And we don't want that. Kaya kasabay ng pag-identify ng signs, ng causes, also try to reflect where you are in the burnout phase. Kaya pa ba natin hulihin sarili natin and manage ourselves? Or are we in the habitual burnout phase already that we need to seek help? Either way, it's okay. You are okay. You are here. And you are trying to learn more about burnout. So to everyone who are here, thank you so much. Saludo po kami sa inyo. Kaya in the comment section, let's be here for each other and i-comment po natin na I am here for you. Ayan. Just comment down. No, lahat na nakikita natin nagko-comment, bagong friends nyo na yan. It's up to you. I-add nyo ba sila sa Facebook or not? But we are all friends here. Okay, so we are here for each other and we want to build each other up. So our next topic will now be the things that we can do in order to combat burnout. We now go to the practical part of this webinar. Ano nga ba ang pwede nating gawin to prevent burnout from happening? And say for example, nasa burnout phase na ako or habitual burnout phase na, what can I do when I'm already there? Okay, so number one, of course, we start with self-care. Let us put our self-care in our prioritization list. Naririnig natin parati sa airplane, di ba? In case of emergency, we put our mask first before the children. Hindi po dahil selfish tayo, but because we will not be able to help others if we don't help ourselves. So as you can see in your screen, these are a list of self-care that we can do to avoid or prevent burnout. So pwede nyo ako sabayan sa comment section. Let's do a quick self-check. Nagagawa ba natin to regularly in our day or our week? Just type in yes or no in our comment section and let's try to work it out. Number one, nakakapag-exercise po ba tayo? By exercise, we don't necessarily mean 100 push-ups agad. If you can do it, then good. Now, if not, we can stretch while sitting. We can stand up and walk around the house for a good 5 minutes while working or studying from home. Kumbaga, exercise will be galaw-galaw minsan. Madaming no. It's okay. No, we are here to learn some tips. Ayan. Hindi naman kailangan as in super exercise. Basta makagalaw lang tayo, even sa loob ng bahay. Next, do we have a balanced diet? Breakfast, lunch, dinner? Nakakakain naman po ba ng enough? Or hindi naman po ba tayo kumakain ng sobra-sobra? Yan. Always have a balanced diet. Always try to manage or monitor your diet. And then next, do we sleep on time? Aside from if you're expecting burnout, kasi napag-usapan natin, we might have difficulty in sleeping, of course. Pero say for example, we are okay. Do we sleep on time? Or minsan, baka natatempt tayo tapusin yung season finale ng Attack on Titan or isang episode na lang ng business proposal. Diba? Minsan hindi na natin na mamalayan. Late na pala. So we have to be very careful with that as well because it is a form of self-care. Next is social support. Nakakausap pa naman po ba natin yung friends natin? I know, we are on alert level 1 na. Pwede na lumabas. No, but if hindi pa rin kaya, we can still do it virtually. Note also that some of us are implosive, meaning naiipon natin yung stress or sama ng loob. And if you're like that, talking to a trusted person may help. You don't necessarily ask for advice or ask for a solution, pero someone lang na you can vent out your emotions to will be a big help. Yeah. Speaking of, say for example, busy din ang social group, then we can reach out and get help. I am a volunteer of Crisis Line of In Touch, and I can tell you that it really helps. It might sound intimidating when you hear the word crisis in Crisis Line, but you can consider us as your friends. Pwedeng-pwede po sa amin mag-vent out. And remember that no matter how small you think your problem is, your stress and your burnout is valid. And there is no shame and judgment in seeking help if you can't manage the feelings yourself anymore. And I hope we can break the myth that self-care is being selfish. Caring for yourself is actually the first step to loving others. Yan. And makikita natin sa pinakababa, included in our self-care, will be building our stress resilience. So, ano nga ba tong stress resilience na to? So, let's talk more about it. Basically, you can think of it as a toolbox. Stress is a normal part of life. As much as ayaw natin sa stress, it is inevitable. So, stress resilience is not eliminating fully the stress, but rather using the right tools or techniques in order to combat stress when you encounter it. It might take time to practice, but believe me that this is very helpful. Number 1 is curiosity or self-awareness. Learning what is burnout and what are your triggers. Ano yung mga stressors na manageable for us and ano yung mga stressors na hindi natin kaya or we might need help from others, either from classmates, academic heads, or supervisors. Personally, for me, self-awareness is the most important tool. Kasi how can we combat stress if in the first place we don't acknowledge our stress or burnout? If we tend to ignore or brush off the stress or the burnout feeling that we feel, it might lead us to burnout without even realizing it. So, again, thank you for being here and congratulations. Meron na kayong isang weapon for combating stress and burnout. Yeah. Number 2 will be community and finding the right support from people and groups that have a positive impact on you. Going back to the social media, I also work at a news and media organization. And if you scroll down on the comment section of political news, negative news, you will see a somewhat toxic community, right? But me and my friends privately, we also talk about politics. We have our private group chat, and sometimes even with different views and opinions, I still feel positive about them and about myself. We help each other grow sa napag-uusapan namin sa private GCs because it is a safer community. And so far from our comment section, thank you so much for being a safe space in our community. Yan. Imagine that we are in the battleground and ang kalaban natin is stress. Our community will be our base or our safe space. There. And then number 3 will be communication. This is why you always hear people in the mental health sector telling you to speak up. It takes a lot of courage to open up, yes, but it is also beneficial for you. If hindi kaya ang isang project, open up to your boss. For all we know, kaya kanya palang tulungan sa work mo. Or if you're feeling down, again, we go to our safe spaces, talking with our trusted friends. Quick note that communication is a two-way thing, so don't forget to listen as well. One thing I realized, boomers or elders, they tend to speak frankly. Minsan mabibigat yung salita nila. But try to understand that they are also speaking out of concern for you. So one thing I learned from my leader, if nakaka-feel tayo ng personal triggers toward a person dahil sa tone or behaviors nila, always listen to the message, not the messenger. Kasi sometimes with the right kind of discernment, baka mabigat lang sila magsalita, but there might be a lesson or two that we can get from other people as well that can help us eliminate burnout or stress in our lives. There. And then connected to number 1 will be mindfulness. Alam natin yung concepts and signs and symptoms of burnout. Ngayon, in a way, this is application naman. Ano ang nararamdaman ko as of the moment? Ano yung environment? In one of the mindfulness workshops I attended, we can try to practice mindfulness by using our 5 senses. Usually, itatanong ng facilitator, ano ang nakikita mo right now? No, nakikita ko yung unan, yung curtains, yung window, and then ano ang naririnig mo? Hindi ko kayo naririnig for now, naririnig ko yung aircon, naririnig ko yung sarili ko. Ano yung naamoy, nalalasahan, and nafe-feel mo as of the moment? This is an exercise for us to sync our mind and body where we are right now. Yan. Next will be humor and fun. As much as we want everything to turn out great, at the end of the day, tao lang tayo. Gusto lang natin tumulong. In the things that we do, try to bring a sense of playfulness into our days. One good thing that I learned in TikTok, diba? Content creators tend to have a skit on POVs or point of views. Like, point of view ng student na konyo. Tapos, yung makikita nyo yung sheesh, for example, di ko siya maintindihan. Or, point of view ng office mate mo na may panindang pulveron at graham ball sa office. Ayan. Diba? Sometimes this is us. No, this is not degrading anyone. We're just having fun in this battlefield that we are into. We're just having fun. So, magkakakampi tayo lahat. So, bringing humor and playfulness actually makes the battle with stress worth the while. Yan. And connected to community naman will be empathy. Empathy is getting to know and understand the story of others. Say your boss, for example, is medyo cranky siya today, or your classmate is late for the 4th time and isa na lang absent na siya or fail na siya. On one hand, we can think na grabe naman sila, ang sama naman ng ugali ni today. Or we can also take this opportunity to ask them, no, or have a conversation with them. Boss, bakit medyo mainit yung ulo nyo than usual? May nangyari po ba sa inyo? Boss, pwede po ba ako makatulong? Yan. Dagdag points yan. Or, yan, friend, late ka na naman. Kamusta ka ba? Nahirapan ka na ba mag-commute? Marami na bang kotse sa daan? Anong nangyayari? In everything that is happening in our lives, there will always be a story behind. Nabanggit ko, we are in a battlefield, right? So, know that magkakakampi tayo and we are not the enemies. The enemy is stress. So, we show empathy to others. If hindi comfortable mag-share si boss or si classmate or si friend, or kanina yung example is ideal, asking the boss. Pero if hindi tayo comfortable magtanong, hindi tayo comfortable with the communication, it's okay. You can still help by simply being there with them, embracing them in what they are going through. And thank you for everyone in our comment section. So that is our toolbox to help ourselves and to help others as well. So here, instead of this one, instead of a comment, I would like to give you now an assignment. Everyone in our Facebook Live, this is an assignment for you. Think of any person that comes to mind and take this opportunity to ask them, kamusta ka na? Have that conversation with them. You'll never know who needs it. You might be the one to save them from experiencing burnout. So I hope we do it. After this webinar, try to message them here in Facebook, or siguro nandyan lang sa bahay nyo. Try to ask them, kamusta ka na? Have a conversation with them. Baka kailangan nila for today. Okay, so there. Say for example naman, this time that you are already burned out. Nandun ka na sa burnout phase. When you are in that situation, na feel mo sobra na talaga yung stress, just remember these 3 R's. Number 1 is recognize. Nasa burnout phase na ba ako? Tatanggapin na ba natin? Yan. Tanggapin na natin. Do not deny, especially to ourselves. And then if you can, try to look then for the signs and what is causing the burnout. For example, sumasakit na yung ulo ko dahil tinapos kong mag-review kagabi, baka doon ang galing. Or feel ko nagiging distant na ako sa friends ko kasi nafe-feel kong di na nila ako mahal. No, it might be a mentality, but try to catch yourselves as well. Kasi mentality or emotions might be because of burnout. Minsan nagkakaroon na ng distortion. So recognize ano yung mga signs na pwede nating mahuli. And once you recognize, you reverse. Parang sa kotse, atras, no? Or step back. Who says that we can't reset in life? Kayang-kaya yan. We go back to why we do what we do. No? Inuumaga tayo mag-work, for example, or inuumaga tayo mag-review to the point na nasa-stress or nabu-burnout na tayo. So we ask ourselves, bakit ba natin to ginagawa in the first place? And this is a genuine question to ourselves. Bakit nga ba? Para ba to maka-provide sa family ko? Para ba to ma-proud sa akin si mommy and daddy dahil kailangan na mataas ang grade ko? Identify why we started this and try to evaluate, worth it pa ba yung ginagawa natin? Yan. This is not to encourage or discourage anyone, but this is a reflection question that can help us with burnout. Reverse, atras ng onte, and go back to the start. So now, na-recognize na natin and we admit to ourselves na yes, nabu-burnout ako. We are trying to reverse the situation. Question, does this make us any less of a human? Does this mean that we are a failure dahil nandun na tayo sa burnout phase? Of course, we are here in this webinar and certainly, no, certainly not. We are not failures. We are not less of a human. Everyone goes through a tough situation at one point in their lives. And once na matapos yung situation na yon, it doesn't mean that we are not vulnerable to a harder challenge pa. The point I'm trying to make is that when you feel burned out, be kind to yourself. Be resilient. Tell yourself na it's okay, okay lang yan. You did your best today. You are doing the best to survive one day at a time. Tough times don't last, tough people do. And so as long as we have today, as long as we are being blessed by the Lord another day tomorrow, there is and always be hope. Okay? So we are down to our last few slides actually of our webinar. Next is we would just like to Yan. Oh, sorry. Wrapping it all up, actually. Both from what we've discussed earlier, no, you may remember this acronym, CARS, para mas madaling tandaan yung buong webinar natin. C is for consciousness. As mentioned earlier, if you are not going to be conscious of what you feel, then we cannot help ourselves or others cannot help us. So it's good that we are conscious and mindful of ourselves. A is for acceptance. No, magsha-share ako ng onte. Last Sunday, I've had a headache, but I really want to go to a live Sunday service. So I thought to myself, wala lang yan. Kakayanin ko yan. Idadaan ko na lang sa tubig and sa onting gamot. Then, hours after, as you have guessed, lumala yung sakit and nahilo pa ako after. And mas hindi ako nakafocus sa message. So the lesson in that is that we don't need to wait for us to feel burned out before accepting that we are feeling burned out or before accepting that we need help. If you're on the onset of stress phase pa lang, accept it already and recognize that intervention is needed, which is our letter R. So going back to the headache analogy, masakit yung ulo ko and dahil lumala, kailangan kong i-recognize na kailangan ko ng intervention. Kailangan ko ng medicine and water. Those are my tool to prevent headache. So, in preventing burnout, our tool, we will go back to the stress resilience toolbox, or our letter S, your strategy and skill implementation to redirect your mood. Yan. And it has been a lot for this 1-hour webinar. Remember that burnout is a type of pagod. And if simplified, ano ba ang dapat gawin kapag napapagod? Nagpapahinga. And dahil dyan, I want to end this webinar with paghinga. So why don't we all relax and see this video about blue skies and clear skies. So let us all watch this video.
Take a moment to imagine a bright blue sky stretching off into the distance. Feels pretty good, right? This is a perfect metaphor for the mind, a blank canvas on which thoughts, feelings, and experiences appear. Okay, so maybe there are just a few clouds, but they tend not to bother us or distract us too much, especially if they're the cute little fluffy variety. This is how the mind appears when it's calm, bright, serene, and happy. But life isn't always easy. Sometimes there are a lot more clouds in the sky. Sometimes they might be the dark and stormy variety. Occasionally, we might even begin to wonder if a hurricane's on the way. It gets to the point that it's hard to think of anything else. In fact, sometimes we get so obsessed by the clouds that we forget about the blue sky altogether. But it's still there. Every time you're in a plane and you fly through the clouds, there it is, right? Without fail, blue sky. It's easy to forget that what we're looking for is already here. And that's why we need reminding.
Right. So always remember, no, blue sky is always there for us. And with that, thank you so much, everyone. And thank you for in our comment section, yung iba actually nagbibigay ng mga tips din nila and advices. So why not? Just type in our comment section. But for now, let's have a mini recap with our hosts, Juvie and Andy. I'm now giving back the floor to them. And we will also have a Q&A later on. So stay tuned. If you have any questions, feel free to type it in our chat box. Medyo marami po yung kanina. So just if you have any questions, type it in our comment section. But for now, Andy and Juvie, giving the floor to you.
Yeah, Kuya Arvin. This is such an information packed lecture, and I feel fortunate to be a part of this. I hope you guys do too. Again, thank you, Kuya Arvin, for all the valuable essentials to learn about burnout and how to manage it, even more so for making it really fun. I'm feeling giddy and sure that we're one step closer to our goal on educating people more about this burnout topic. We all experience it. This is such a great guide. Don't you think so, Ruby?
Yes, exactly. So, marami talaga akong natutunan for today thanks to Kuya Arvin. It is very informative and time relevant. So, I'll just share quickly yung mga yung thoughts ko. Kasi as a graduating student, marami talaga tayong ginagawa. So, shout out sa mga students out there. And yung problem ko talaga is managing my time kasi sometimes that makes me struggle even more yung pagmamanage ng time. And nafe-feel ko na I'm already burned out. So one thing that struck me in the presentation is the phases of burnout. Kasi all of those phases, we went all through each of them, and it's a matter whether you disregard it or not. Kasi for me right now, it's something that I should be mindful of because things will eventually worsen once you ignore those red flags. And it would be nice if you're aware that you're already having one of those signs and symptoms, so you would be able to counter it and hindi na siya lumala. So how about you, Andy? What are your takeaways? And maybe we can also ask our viewers to share their takeaways with us. So comment section.
Yes, we should. This is causing a lot of us to reflect. So take a break or take that pause. We'd love to read your reflections on the comment box while it's still fresh. To start with, well, Juvie, it's actually interesting that you mentioned this kind of struggle that you're experiencing. And that's really understandable. For a lot of people, it's really relatable. But you being mindful is what's really important. And on the essence of mindfulness, I'm actually working on keeping in mind the differences between striving for excellence and being a perfectionist. Because with juggling school, work, and all my hobbies and responsibilities, it makes me feel off when I don't do my best in every single activity. But with all the positive support and this added lesson, of course, I'm hoping to recognize and discern my own predispositions to burnout in order to avoid it, just prevent it. But that's not to say it's easy. We're acknowledging that. And I'm pretty sure that I'm going to have to look back on this a lot to incorporate these healthy habits in my routine, especially for someone who can't sleep when I have more tasks to do. I know you're also a very busy person, Ruby. Which of your hobbies or activities help you?
My ultimate way of coping kasi is sleeping. So despite the busy schedule, I always opted to have my self-care because I know that I cannot function well properly once I am not well rested. So sometimes I think din naman na tayo-tayo lang din naman yung gumagawa ng sarili nating struggle sa life. But as long as you can handle it, kahit slow progress, it is still a progress. So you have to keep pushing. And you can ask somebody to help you if you think you can no longer handle things. So don't be shy to ask for help or support, guys. So maybe we can now take a look at the comments our audience posted. Andy, what do you think?
I'm looking at them right now.
Okay.
And these are really great insights from the viewers. Well, now, if you have any questions, hold on.
Wait, I'll just read some of
Let's
the
read
comments.
some of them.
Yes. Okay, from Jadel May Espinacal, is a learning how to notice the signs of burnout and being mindful of your own limits. Okay, so from Vessel Burns, helpful nowadays. Lot of people struggle with fatigue, burnout, etc. This must be a blessing. And from Nimrod Owen, when you feel the signs of burnout, I have a pause first, rest, and then when you are okay, then we can go again, but not to the point where we will still stress ourselves again. Nice takeaway, guys.
Yes, and it's really in line with our theme.
Mm-mm.
Pause to play, step back to advance.
Yeah.
Yeah. And again, these are really great insights. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask our guest speaker, Arvin. You can post your questions in the comment box. Here. Okay.
Okay, guys, time for questions.
Looking forward to it. Right,
Yeah.
Ruby? Kuya Arvin,
Yes.
you prepped.
Yes, go ahead. Any question? Go ahead. And then yan.
Any
Tea instead of
question?
coffee para bawas caffeine from rice. Yan. Maybe Julian, Andy, you have a question while we're waiting. Oh, there.
Oh, we have a question po from Al's Grace. Sabi niya, hello, does burnout only happen during bad times or does it happen when everything's fine as well?
Yes, thank you for that, Owl's Grace. This is a tricky one. Usually, it's the negative things kasi. Pero when I reflected, it can actually happen even with the good things. So, kasi burnout is pagod, diba? Imagine you're doing good. For example, a week-long vacation. Monday, punta kayong La Union. Tuesday sa Batangas. Wednesday, North ulit. Thursday sa South. Masasaya naman yun. Lahat yun vacation. Pero after nun will be pagod. In a way, may stress din sa atin. So, minsan nakaka-burnout din yung good things in life. Pero we have to remember the phases ulit. Siguro nandun siya sa acute stress phase kasi parang medyo araw-araw na akong umaalis. So napapagod na yung katawan ko. What should I do? Kasi if hindi natin inalagaan yung sarili natin, kapag tumagal pa, yun na yung time na makaka-feel naman tayo ng mga negative things. Like, we feel depressed kasi parati na tayong pinapagalitan ng boss natin kasi araw-araw na tayo absent because of vacation. So we have to be careful lang with the good things in life. Everything that is too much is a bad thing. Yeah.
Okay, so may babasahin lang po akong comment, talagang, siya. So it's good from Adi Loisky. It's good that we are now being open about this thing before they all just categorize this as being lazy. So talagang, yun nga din naman yung mga thoughts before, like we're not open to it. Kasi parang kinakategorize lang talaga nila na tinatamad na naman to siya. So,
Yes,
yeah.
and a follow-up question is from her as well. She's asking, how can you differentiate being burnt out from just being lazy?
Yeah. So, well, in a way, burnout is coming from pagod. No, parang tuloy-tuloy siya na pagod to the point na hindi na kaya ng katawan mo or ng utak mo or ng spirit mo. So that will be burnout. Yung lazy, although nakaka-feel ka rin ng pagod minsan kasi pag lazy, pag sobra-sobra tayo sa tulog, minsan nakakapagod din. Pero meron bang stressor? If maybe that's it. The lazy will be kapag wala na tayong wala naman tayong ginagawa talaga in life. If we are inactive, then that's laziness. Burnout will be hyperactive naman. There. Burnout, hyperactivity, laziness, inactivity.
Okay, so next, ano naman po, from RK Blue, can you share some of your personal coping skills, especially when work and studies get very overwhelming?
Yes. Dito for me personally, I always, as much as possible, nakamanage lahat ng time. If you've heard kanina, I have full-time work and I am also doing my internship. So everything should be managed on time. As much as possible, I don't do anything on the weekends. So that will be my coping skill, rest talaga. Not doing anything. Kasi pagdating ng weekdays, I am busy. So that will be my personal na ginagawa is time management. These kinds of self-care, as mentioned kanina, it takes a lot of practice. I admit, minsan nadadapa din ako. So, may time management na, akala ko tama. Akala ko hindi ako mapapagod kapag ganito yung pag-manage ng time ko. Pero hindi pala. But kanina din, tulad na sabi natin, it's working smart and perfectionism. Minsan magkakamali tayo, pero we'll be kind to ourselves and learn from it. So that will be something na always learn. Ano man yung ginagawa nyo, either from eating, healthy diet, or exercise, or tulog, the right amount, right hours of tulog. You might not get it in one snap, pero eventually if you practice it. So always try to practice. Wag ma-discourage kapag nagkakamali. Don't be very much perfectionist. And in due time, no? Lahat tayo magkakasama sa pag-handle ng stress. Right. You have any other
That's a great answer, Kuya. Last question. Oh, hold on. We're kind of running out of time here. Oh, wait. But maybe you could do a quick answer. You could answer it quickly. There, someone anonymously asked, you mentioned stress awareness is a weapon. I know that I can't handle being around such negativity because of being influenced easily. How do I get away from this and not give off judgmental and condemning vibes?
Alright, sorry, can I ask to repeat ng question again?
Okay. You mentioned that stress awareness is a weapon. I know that I can't handle being around such negativity because I get easily influenced. How do I get away from this and not give off judgmental and condemning vibes?
That is actually a hard question, especially if the stressor is coming from maybe your community or sabihin natin from your house. I don't really know. Maybe the best advice I can give will be focus on things you can control. It's always be things you can control and things you can't control. Obviously, the people surrounding you, you cannot control them. No, either yun nga, nasa bahay na sila, hindi ka makaalis, wala ka naman enough money to move out, for example, sa community. So, always practice on yourself, know who you are, ano yung pwede mong gawin, these kinds of meditation exercises, self-care exercises. I hope all those toolbox can help you. So I believe you're running out of time, but thank you so much for being with us.
We are. And this is a very interesting and interactive crowd, which is pretty cool. But that's all the time we have to entertain your questions. Thank you for participating.
At this point, we will now present our certificate of appreciation for our guest speaker. So, certificate of appreciation is hereby presented to Arvin Maghirang in recognition of his contribution as a speaker of the webinar entitled Step Up to Advance, Don't Give Burnout a Chance, conducted on the 8th of April 2022. Your dedicated effort to help promote the value of mental health and well-being is greatly appreciated. Thank you. Signed by Mariel Aliana Bangalan and Abigail Nirvana Eduardo, the training and workshop program managers.
Of course, let's not forget our wonderful audience who graced us with their presence this morning.
Yes, so you will each receive a certificate of participation from us. Just go and fill up the evaluation form provided. Oh, here in the screen, you can scan the QR code in the screen, as we'd love to hear your feedback. So the certificate will be sent after.
Okay, and to reiterate, InTouch offers valuable services such as crisis line training, counseling services, and trainings and workshops, amongst other things. If you need any help, if you need to talk, we encourage you to reach out to us through these numbers. Could we go back to the QR code so that people could have that? Yeah.
Yes.
How much time? Just also in the comment section.
Yes, it is already posted.
All right. You know what, Julie? Before we end today's webinar, we should invite the audience to 2 more upcoming webinars as well.
Right. So InTouch has 2 more webinars to come as part of this series, the stress awareness. On April 23rd, Saturday, we have a webinar entitled Manage Your Attention, Not Time. And on April 30, Saturday, we have another one called Keep on Task, Stay Motivated.
And both of these webinars are paid webinars. The webinars cost 825 pesos each, but join both to save 1,000 pesos. Pay only 650 instead of 1,650. Slots will be limited to keep the webinars more experiential and participative, as well as worksheets, handouts, and certificates will also be issued.
Right. Sounds like a very fun learning opportunity, Andy. And to those who are interested in joining, we will post the link na lang, or you can actually go to the Facebook page of InTouch Community Services. Nandoon yun. Nakapost na po. So I think before we end, we can have photo op with Kuya Arvin. Andy, what do you think? Okay, Kuya Arvin. Are you okay there? So let's pose for a picture. You guys okay? And 3, 2, 1. Another one. 3, 2, 1. That's great.
Kuya Arvin, do you have any final words?
Naman, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. And we hope that you've learned a lot. We'll see you in, we hope to see you in our future webinars or the future webinars of InTouch as well. So thank you so much, everyone, and have a happy weekend and a happy weekend and a holy week ahead.
Yes.
I hope you guys would have a happy lunch.
Yes, and happy
Almost 12.